Hi everybody. Um, if you watched my last video, I was talking about going through a transition and how things are changing in my life. And I'm here today just to keep going with that because I think a lot of people don't talk about the healing process. Like there's a lot of, oh, you have to let go of this, you have to let go of that to allow happiness in, or quiet, or peace, or whatever. But no one talks about the process in itself. Like there is no guide, or well, maybe I haven't found it, I don't know, but I never came across people talking about like, oh, healing looks like this. And I wish I did, because healing is no easy process. So from my last video, I was talking about me having like to transition into job insecurity. I was uncertain about my job. It seemed like I'm losing my job, and I just moved in with my boyfriend. Me and the baby moved in with my boyfriend, and so we changed the environment. I changed the people around me. I just got to know his social circle, and it's like his family and friends, and they are very amazing. I mean, sometimes I'm sitting there and thinking, like, do normal people live like this? Meaning, like, happy people that didn't have tragic lives with trauma and all kinds of things happening to them while growing up, live this happy? Like, is this normal to just be happy most days? That's incredible. Like, I can't believe it. And I'm still in the healing process. Like, I'm still like really going through the tough part of my body getting used to a new environment, my body getting used to safety, my body getting used to like being loved without performance or judgment or whatever I had in my past. I think at some point I'm just gonna do like a timeline of my life, just so that it's helpful for me, and if people are interested, like what kind of upbringing I had, then it could be helpful for everyone. But with the thing that wasn't expecting, like I didn't have any expectations while healing. I didn't think healing in itself would be like a full-time job. For the brain and for the body, it's like literally my brain rewiring itself around, oh, this is how safety feels like, this is how peaceful love without giving anything back, love just for existing, feels like. And this is what, you know, my good relationship with food feels like. This is like how I'm eating without hating the food that I'm eating. It's just so, like, I have so many things in many different areas, and it's just incredible, because at the same time I am observing it, but at the same time it's really hard, because like your body has to get used to new patterns, new rules, like new life rules. And my rules have up to this point have been very based on, I don't have any self-worth, so I am not, my body is not worth nourishing, so I was anorexic, so I wouldn't eat. I was like, I didn't have the mental part, but I had the physical part. Like, I just hated food because of many reasons and because of many traumas. But, and that's just around food. I don't know why food is coming up, but like that's one thing I think is just easy to explain. Not that dealing with food is easy. And I feel like the more I'm in my field, like mental health, the more I realize how much food is linked to people's well-being and how many people have food issues. Like, it's not about physical appearance. Like, it's not if you have bulimia or anorexia. It's like there's a big continuum in the middle, and most people struggle relationally to food for many reasons. They either grew up without, or they grew up having too much, or they grew up using it as comfort instead of just for the purpose of fueling your body, or people that use it as like, you know, punishment. Like, there is a lot of nuances and shades in between what food food, like illnesses, mental health related to food, I'm just noticing it so much, like with my clients, with the people I talk to, and in general, I'm just keeping like an eye on that, just because I'm working with those things right now. So I'm kind of like picking up more. Like it's like the story of the blue cars. If you want to buy a blue car or red car, let's say red car. Why did I say blue? Red car, much better. Blue is not the great color, in my opinion. So let's say you want to buy a red car, and you start noticing all these red cars around you. So that's what's happening with me. Like I'm kind of healing my self relationship, like my relationship to food. And so I'm noticing what people do with their food, kind of. And I'm realizing like there is not a lot of healthy approach to food. It's like always, let me use this to soothe myself, or let me use this to punish myself, or I don't see a lot of, oh, this is just food, I just need it for energy and taste and, Anyway, so from what I said previously, I can't remember when I posted the other video, but it was like a few days ago. And I was going through this transition about work. I didn't know if I would stay at my job. And I'm just having so much going on all at the same time. And nobody talks about the healing process. Like, this is your old self going to your new self. And there is this part here between my hands that has to be filled up with something. And that something is a lot of hard work. It's a lot of emotions and a lot of letting go and releasing. And while you release, you are also building new pathways, like new ways of relating to life. It's not an easy process. I mean, it can be looked at, oh, it's fun. It's like, oh, look at me healing. But still, like, to just give you an example, what makes it difficult? Because just saying is difficult, then I didn't say much. Like, there is just this vague idea, now healing is difficult. Okay, people are not even motivated to heal anymore. If suffering is difficult and even healing is difficult, then why do I even bother? So it's not difficult as suffering is a different kind of difficult. Like, for example, you start feeling more safe within yourself than with others. So during, I think it was Monday or whatever, it was like a baseball game. And I was at the apartment putting baby to sleep, and I was supposed to go to the like next door apartment with the baby. We went with the baby, but then he got sleepy. So I put him to bed and I sat on the couch and I closed the door, and then the entrance door, and I just sat there. It was a hard day. I like handled the baby all day, and I was just all of this stuff just hitting me, like new job, new thinking about that I had to get a new job and the new relationship, and everything just started hitting me all at once. And I sat on the chair and on the couch, and I thought, oh my God, like I have been suffering for 32 years nonstop. Like the suffering was horrible, it was big. And then I just thought about like memories of like harsh memories, like of the worst of my traumas. And I slowly kind of, like at first I grounded my feet on the floor because I just needed to feel something solid against my body, underneath my feet. And I kept sobbing and sobbing, just like crying like a baby. And then like my whole body just fell to the ground. Like I just sat on the floor and leaned on the couch and kept crying, because I just realized it was a hell of a ride. Like, oh my God, no kid should spend their life living like I did. Instead of playing or whatever, I was just in my own head thinking that I was so worthless, and I didn't know what to do with all that worthlessness that people kept telling me I had. And mind you, like my upbringing was very traumatic, like very, very bad story, like nothing. like not so little lack of love because my mom was too busy. It was a lot worse. Like not that that's little. Like your mom should give you all the attention and all the love that you deserve. And I'm not saying that those are smaller traumas because it doesn't matter what the trauma is. Some people are very resilient and they go through hell and it seems like nothing happened to them. And some people just one small little tiny thing and destroys them and gives them depression for a lifetime. So it doesn't, like the suffering, it's different for each of us. It doesn't matter what happened to you. It's just suffering is suffering. For some people it's hard, for some people it's harder. But so it's not like to judge that's a little thing, but I'm just saying like a lot happened in my life. And so I'm not comparing, I'm just like just saying what happened to me specifically. And so I was on the floor just crying, and George come through the door. I'm like, what are you doing here? I was coming back to the game, and he said, well, I sensed something was off. He was like in the other room watching the game with the others. And I was like, you know, you didn't need to come see me like this. And I was just crying on the floor. It like was so embarrassing. But then he came and sat beside me, and he said, it's okay, you know, it's fine. It's not, you don't have to, you know, you don't have to perform, like fake it or anything. You can just sit there and cry. It's okay, I will just be here. And him just sitting there, putting a hand on my shoulder, and me being so vulnerable in front of someone that wouldn't use it against me. It was like something I never experienced before. It was like, wow, this is big. This is like, God, what is this? This feels good. And I didn't know, like, for half of me was embarrassed. The other half was relieved almost that he was there, almost happier that he was there than if he wasn't. Like, I was almost happy that he saw me like that and that I felt accepted. So that was very, very powerful. And then the rest of the evening we spent it, like, I just, you know, cried what I needed to cry out, said the few words that I said, like, you know, I've been holding all this for like much longer. And I told him when I was like, I don't know if I mentioned this in the previous video, but I wanted to get my own apartment because some instinct of mine said, live in the same apartment complex as George, but live in your own apartment, because of some reason. I didn't know why, but my intuition told me, go live in your own space. Not my intuition, but I just felt I needed some space of my own. So when I was sitting there crying and sobbing, when he came in, I told him, you know, the reason why I wanted to get my own apartment in your same apartment complex where you live, it's because I want to be close, but I also want my space because I want to do this. I want to do a lot of crying. I'm going to do a lot of releasing. I wasn't aware of it at the time, but something told me that something like that would happen. Like I needed my own safe space to just let go. This is because I realized when I moved out of my old apartment and moved in with him for the first 2 or 3 days, I didn't go back to my apartment. And when I went back, like, I just stepped into my old apartment and just like this whole emotional thing fell on top of me. Like, I didn't cry or anything, but I felt very agitated, very nervous. Like, it's not a place that I felt safe, that I could just cry. I was like, oh my God, I need to get out of here as soon as possible. And it was because it was so many memories that I lived in that apartment that I didn't realize how much they were keeping me hostage of my own suffering. Like, I didn't realize that changing my environment would change the way I related myself to my own self. It's crazy, but like, if you wake up and you wake up to the same thing every day, like the same environment, the same people, the same stuff, you never realize if you are suffering. It's just like a crazy human thing. I think it's just like not an instinct, but like a protective mechanism to show you how little you are suffering, but actually you're suffering a lot, but you're not aware. And then the moment you step outside, like you travel, let's say, sometimes I think one of the main reasons people travel is because you have a whole new environment around you. So your thoughts and your thought pattern change for a few days. You go back and you realize what's wrong or what's right, or you just have realizations about your environment. And that's what I did. Like I came here to his apartment, I stayed here for a few days and then went back to my own apartment, and it was like terrible. Like I didn't feel well. I felt like I needed to leave as soon as possible. Jordan, my baby, he's 1, he, 1 year and 4 months, he was crying. I'm like, why are you crying? Okay, everybody was just not happy. And I was like, okay, let's get what we need and get out of here as soon as possible. The second time I tried to go back to my apartment, I couldn't even go upstairs. Like, I just sat in the parking lot and thought about going up in like for 10 minutes. And I said, you know what, I can't do it today. I'm just too, like, I'm gonna be kind to myself, not going to that apartment. I'm just gonna go back home, my new home. And so I told him this. I told him the reason why I wanted a second apartment, not a second apartment, but an apartment where I could live by myself on my own, that wasn't triggering, like an apartment that was neutral or felt safe. It was because I knew this release would come. Like, I knew I would have to think about my life, how hard it was, what kind of 32 years I have spent, and just cry it all out, or have my reaction as I need, feeling safe, like feeling that I can do it without anyone sitting there judging me or telling me that's wrong or to stop. But that didn't happen with him. Like, he was there, sat there, and just let me have my tantrum, my moment, and that was great. That's actually even better than me sitting there by myself. I didn't know it would feel that good. Like, at some point, I wasn't even embarrassed. I was like, you know what, doesn't matter. So having people that love you is very healing. When they love you unconditionally and you have a little bit of love for yourself, so that love can come true, because if you don't have love for yourself, others cannot really love you. You don't attract people that's going to love you. You're just gonna attract people most of the time that's gonna reflect you the lack of love you have for yourself. But the moment you start having a little bit of love for yourself, which is in what happened for me, it's when the other people are able to reflect that love for you, and it's growing bigger and bigger every day. And I'm just realizing how much lack of love I had. So that's the hard part, is just realizing what you lost, what you missed. It's like you have to grieve the loss of just spending 32 years in war. And that's okay. Like, you know, we are here on this earth for that reason, to grow and expand. If I'm ever coming back to this planet, which I don't think I will, but just in case, I'm never going to have it this hard again, because it was like too much. But then again, like, I'm just in the healing process. Maybe there is no end, obviously, but maybe I will reach a point where I will think, oh, it was worth it. Like, the happiness and the peace that I have was worth the 32 years of hell. So right now I'm just sitting in heaven's lobby waiting for heaven's door to open, because I'm sure it's going to get better. Like, I'm sure the healing journey gets easier and easier, and you don't have to deal with gigantic rocks hitting you in the face every day. And maybe you can go like into a grain of sand that you have to solve, like little issues and challenges that come here and there, or even bigger issues, but you are ready for them and you are prepared. You have substance to face them. Like, you have love and you self-respect yourself, and you have other people supporting you, and it's different than facing everything by yourself without love, without any kind of tool. And all the tools that you have are all negative, and you use those tools that are negative to hurt yourself even more, with the hope that if you really touch rock bottom, the only way is up. And maybe you have like that kind of big jump that you just go up in a very high way or whatever. I don't know if that makes sense, probably not, but whatever. So yeah, it's just a lot of transitioning and thinking, and being aware of what's going on, and just self-awareness, and a lot of letting myself in this case cry and just have it, you know, realizing that healing is not this amazing, peaceful place that you think you're going to step in and then everything is just going to fall into place. Things fall into place eventually, but your body and your mind have to readapt to a whole new reality, and that takes a lot of work. And yeah, that takes a lot of work, and that's okay. I mean, it's better than before. Thank you all for watching, and I will talk to you in the next video.